Hi, Randy, K7AGE, sitting inside my camp trailer, getting ready for Quartzfest. What a project. It's a lot going on here. So what is Quartzfest? Quartzfest is, I'm going to say, a week-long hamfest with everybody camping in the desert with no services. Quartzfest is in just south of Quartz, Arizona. I'll spend about 3 nights, about 3.5 days of driving. It's about 1,300 miles, I think, from Go Beach here, which is about 40 miles north of the California border, right on the coast. I'll spend the first night in Benbow, California. It's about a 4 or 5 hour drive. I do that so I can go through Sacramento midday. And then I get to Lodi for a campsite the second night. And the third night, I forget where I am, but I'm out on 95, just off of 58 a little ways. Today it's Tuesday, January 11th, and I leave in 7 days. I got a lot to do. So, what am I doing? Well, I'm going to be spending a lot of time in this trailer this year. You know, I'm going to be going to Quartzfest to and from. That's about 2.5 weeks. In the summertime frame, I'll be going back east to Oshkosh, Wisconsin for the Experimental Aircraft Association for their big week-long air show. And then I'll go on to Rochester, New York, see some relatives there. And so I did that 2 years ago. It was about, I think, 5 weeks or 7 weeks or something. So I'm going to be spending a lot of time here in the trailer. So I thought I'd install a radio system in here so I have something to do and be able to get on and make some contacts and just be radioactive. So I looked at several ideas for my radio. This is the dinette table here. I got cushions. Everything's tore up in here. It's only about 3 feet wide, so it's not a huge one. You can have 4 people eat in here, but it's pretty tight. So I thought about using my TS2000. It's kind of surplus to my needs since I have all new Icom in the home station. But that would take quite a bit of room on the table. You're going to have a laptop, most likely. You've got to have your dinner plate. And that's not a modern radio. So you need like a signal link or something for the digital modes. You need a serial converter cable. When I used that on field day, I found out that it takes about a second for the transmit power to come up. And apparently this is a common problem with the, I guess, older TS2000s. It's 20 years old, or older, I guess. So I kind of ruled that out. The next thing I kind of thought about was a Yaesu 991A, and it's all bands, 160 through 70 centimeter. I probably won't use 160, maybe 80, we'll see. So basically all bands, all modes. It's a modern radio, 1 USB cable for control and audio. That makes it nice, but it's still kind of a big radio, and I got to put it somewhere when I travel. So then I thought, Icom has the IC7100, all band, all mode, single USB cable for control and power. It's a 2-piece radio, so I can leave the radio down here on the floor. I'll come up with some type of mounting or have it in a box. I won't have time before I leave for Quartzfest. But the control head is, you know, not a lot bigger than this clock. It's not as tall, maybe a little bit wider. So I can sit here on the table. The microphone plugs into the back of the control head. I thought that would be a great radio, so I ordered up one of those. Now the antenna. I want something I can set up fast. 5-10 minutes max. So what I also ordered is the Icom AH4 antenna tuner. And this is a, I guess, kind of a random wire type of antenna tuner. It's made to have the antenna wire coming directly off the top of the tuner box. So it's a remote tuner, and I'm going to mount that on the rear of the trailer here. So I need a coax going out to the tuner. I need a control cable going out to the tuner. And then I need a second coax, because up on the ladder, I'm going to mount a diamond 2 meter 70 centimeter antenna, and some of those, when you look carefully, do not require a ground plane. So that's what's to go up on the top of the ladder. For the antenna, I've purchased DX Engineering one of their 25-foot fiberglass mass packages, and it's in I think 4-foot sections. It has a nice quick locking thing. You don't have to twist and lock. And then I have another tube that will slide down into. I have a some type of an accessory mount that was on one of our previous camp trailers that I took off. And basically, it mounts over the square rear bumper where the poo tube is stored, and then it has a 2-inch standard receiver, and then it has about an 18-inch, 2-inch piece of steel that drops into that, and it all clamps tight. So the plan is to mount the antenna tuner on the outside of that 2-inch square tube or bar or whatever, and use some stainless steel hose clamps and attach a larger tube so I can slide the mast down in. The specs on the tuner says 25-foot wire to go 40 through 6, maybe even 80 meters, so we shall see. So the idea is I will, pull into the campsite, pull the tube out, pull the wire out, attach the wire to the top, unwind it, put the tube in the, put the mast in the tube, then unlock and push up each section so it's 25 feet up. And I'm going to use one of these lever locks to connect the wire to the little stub wire that's coming out the top of the antenna tuner, because that has to be waterproofed. The other thing the tuner requires is a good type of ground. So what I'm going to do, I have some copper strapping, so I'm going to bond the ground terminal of the tuner to a bolt on the trailer frame. And the other thing I have to figure out, which I think I figured it out, is how to get the cables out of the trailer. So in the back corner is what they call the low point drain tubes. So there's two tubes that stick through the floor, through the outside to the bottom of the trailer, one for hot, one for cold. It has a valve on each one, and the idea is that when you winterize your trailer, you open that up and it drains out all the water in all your tubes in the trailer. The plan is to be able to snake the cables alongside one of those tubes. So I think I mentioned there's 2 coaxes, one from the tuner, one for the dual band VHF, UHF antenna, and then a control cable. So the cables come in through the very back corner, and it's underneath a bunk bed. And on the front side of the bunk bed here is just kind of a net in one area. So I'm just going to pass the cables through the net around on the floor up underneath the table here, and it'll connect to the radio. What I'm also able to do, the cables are long enough that I can pull them out and run them out through the back hatch door and run around to the side of the trailer where the awning and the door is, and have enough cable to reach out there so I can set the radio there on a table and operate from outside. So this will be great for my travels, for field day. You can operate inside, operate outside. So anyway, I'm going to power the radio with my 30 amp hour Bio-NO lithium iron phosphate battery. That'll run it for quite a while. When I'm traveling, I have 110 volts, so I can keep it charged up. When I'm at Quartzfest and out at Oshkosh, solar panels and generator will keep things charged. So, well, I think I'm done enough for my trip. It works. Just want to quickly touch on what the dual band antenna is. It is a Comet SBB5, 2 meter 70 centimeter, and I don't believe this. Their marketing people have gone crazy. There's a little thing here, right here, repeater and D-star capable. What in an antenna has anything to do with a repeater or an operating mode? Absolutely nothing. Maybe I need an analog antenna when I work through a standard FM repeater. I got this basically running yesterday with the 25-foot wire out back on the top of the AH4 antenna tuner. Everything worked fine. I pressed the tune button. I can hear it click back there. In a couple seconds, it's tuned. The control head, if you've never seen one of these, I don't have a lot of cable unfurled here, but it's quite small, so it'll sit on the table here. It has a speaker here in the back, and it's got a couple plugs here. You can plug in your CW key or your paddle, or you can plug in an external speaker. And again, the microphone plugs into the head. The radio box is sitting here. Put this down on the floor. So I have two coaxes, HF, dual band, the antenna controller, which I made my own cable because it had to be longer. With the tuner comes, I think, a 16-foot piece of coax and a 16-foot control cable. Well, I made my own, and then we have the power cable here, and then a cable that goes off to the control head. I've checked into several nets, a couple on 40, I think one or two on 20, just sitting here playing with it. I got it working with WSJT. I think I made 3 FT8 QSOs, bang, bang, bang. Had the radio running at 50 watts. So I think I'm going to wrap this up. I've rambled on here enough, but I've really enjoyed, the about 2 hours that I've played with this so far, and really like just hitting the tune button. I hear it go clack, 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 and boom, 100 watts, and it seems to load up. I'm going to cut this off, and if anybody's still watching, thank you. Oh, and before this disappears, can you hit that subscribe and that like button for me? It's Randy, K7AGE, counting down to Quartzfest 2022, 73.